Going live again. And I'm doing a paranormal investigation into the possibility of where this christening doll may have came from. This is an antique. I got it at an auction house, and it was located in California, the auction, and they had several miscellaneous antiques included in the collection and all. And this one stood out because I accidentally got the set, and this one was included, and I accidentally won for, four of these antique dolls for $15. And this is like a toy house doll. It's a christening German Hertzwig uh, baby doll. This one is, and it's made out of porcelain. It's got all original, clothing and porcelain legs, and underneath it's kind of made of a hard cloth, and it's got bisque type of a finish. Has no hair except for painted on there, and it's antique. And I want to do an investigation into this because this is made pre-World War One, probably, and it was probably manufactured in Germany, and it probably has a long history behind it. And the fact that the shipping on this was strange, because first of all, I didn't expect to win the auction, and it was like it was calling to me or something, and I was just trying to find out what the shipping would be from the auction house when I tried to win something. So I kind of won that on accident. And I want to try to find out if this christening German Hertzwig baby doll has any attachments to it. And what I plan on doing is use my Parabox app, which has the capabilities of detecting EMF signals, video, pictures, sound, and other waves within the environment, probably 5 to 10 yards range. And I'm going to see if I pick up anything on it. I'm going live and try to have fun and do something that could be very interesting. I got to take my phone out of this casing it's got, because it's got interference. And here I got the Parabox app. EMF radar, calibrate. You see there in the blue, it's the EMF radar. It's good. And then EVP, oh, that one's in experimental phase. IMG, got spectrum. Okay, this will read the different waves of the spectrum of the wavelength of or rays, or it can detect infrared, ultraviolet. Those little green specks that it was getting on there is probably I don't know, but they don't got anomaly as well, and this should pick up little anomalies that shouldn't be there, or are there but are suspicious. So those little smiley faces could be little anomalies I'm picking up on this Parabox app. But we're trying to find out if this christening German baby doll antique, circa probably before 19th century, is haunted or not. It has any attachments. I got it on an auction house, and I'm very suspicious of it. And I'm going to go back here to my white noise and spectrum voice and yes, no questions. Let's see if we get anything on that. Okay, so I like it just got disconnected, reconnected. Sorry about that. I just started up the Paravox app, and it said yes and list at the same time. And I don't know why I lost connection at this point in my live stream, but I'm back live, and I'm trying to use my Paravox app along with some communication and try to. It's pretty active right now. It's saying all kinds of things, so I'm going to be quiet and have a cigarette and see if we get any information from the source. Hello. Enjoy the stream. I'm doing paranormal investigation into the possibility of paranormal. Hello. Let me turn this down a little bit. Oops.
Yes.
Turn it up a little bit there.
Yes.
Usually it's not that active. I mean, as soon as I turned on that app, it automatically said list and yes at the same time, and it's been saying yes and several times, so it's pretty active already. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead and trying to find out if there's any entity attachments on that doll. That's antique doll, baby doll, German Hertzwig. Stay. I did some research on that doll after I got it, and I found out that it was probably Hertzwig, probably antique from around 1900 to 1910, and it has no markings on it. It's made out of porcelain and bisque, and it was. They made lots of them back then. The Hertzwig company, baby doll. They had a lot of German baby doll companies back then. They made lots and lots of dolls back then in Germany. And this one's a Chinese. It's made from Germany, but it's a Chinese baby doll, and they made hundreds of thousands of them. And I don't know how many still exist today, but it's in pristine condition. And I won it on an auction house by accident, because I was trying to find out how much shipping was from that auction house so I could maybe make future painting purchases in the future, because that's what I'm interested in, is antique paintings. And I ended up with this doll, and it's very suspicious because when I got it in the package, is it plural? It said plural. So if you have any questions that, I don't know, help me out and try to find out if there's attachments on this paranormal investigation on this baby doll. It's an antique one, because it's got a long history. I mean, talking about it's lived through World War One, World War Two. I don't know if it was in Germany during that time, and now it's here in my apartment. So it's got a long, long history attached to that baby doll, and still in pristine condition. And I felt you know, the face on it is, I mean, it's almost like glass when you touch it. The porcelain is so fine on it. I want to be careful with it, but the porcelain on that is so fine that I can't believe it survived all these years in such good condition, but because it would probably break pretty easily if it was just dropped on the floor or even in shipping. I am pretty lucky, so. It's asking me if I want to add a question and answer sticker. And I'm not going to do it right now, but right now I'm just trying to experiment with this and have fun and try to find out if there's get communication with the possible attachments on objects like that baby doll. It's a dollhouse baby doll, I think. And I don't know. I can't think of a good question to ask it because I don't know what kind of attachment it could have on it.
No.
No, I wouldn't. Right? So it said plural, and then the other one it said before that was list plural. Okay, so maybe I'll go grab them other ones. Maybe it wants to bring the other ones that came with it and bring them over. Here's two of them right there. I'll just set them right there. See if we get any more communication out of these ones. These ones were, I looked, tried to get as much information as I could on them, and they're came with this in the auction win that I got, and these two were made in Japan, and they were common, and they're less valuable than this one because these were, I guess, German just has more value. Some of the Hertzwig had more value than these ones, and these are, you know, wedding dollhouse, Japanese made, from what I found, dolls. And I haven't tried to open up. And is that okay? I open it up, it got little needles in there to hold it. And I'm just doing a little paranormal investigation tonight to test out and experiment and have fun and try to find out more evidence on some of these antique objects I got. So these, take one out, were circulated in probably early 1900s. I'd say 1910 or 1920. Get my flashlight. And this guy, I think that's, yeah, that's a guy, I guess. Got a tuxedo and all that, but I couldn't find any markings on it. You know, it's hard to find a maker. I don't even know if there is a maker for it. And then that one, I'm just trying to see if we can get any info or communication between possible attachments on these antique ones I've got. Now it said yes, so I'm assuming if I'm having good communication here, that we're going to be able to have a conversation with the possible attachments, maybe. Because these have a long history, very long history. They've been around pre-World War I, and they look spooky, like these. They look spooky. God only knows what kind of history they have, actually. Who owned these, right? And who owned that? I can't say. I don't know. There's no way I can find out, I don't think, unless I really did some heavy, research into. First, I'd have to trace it to where I bought it, and then I have to find out from them where they bought it, and trace it all the way back. But I was going to get my dice and try to make predictions while I'm doing this, and I think I'll go ahead and grab a dice real quick. Okay, so I grabbed 2 dice while I'm trying to find out if we can get any communication with possible attachments on these paranormal dolls, and then get the light in front so we can see a little better. Oops. Sorry, guys. Get back in there. There. Okay. Got that. And dice. Just trying to. Now, if I know correctly about attachments onto objects from possible spirits or ghosts, it can be complicated. There's a scientific approach to it, and then there's going to be a spiritual approach to trying to comprehend how an attachment can get onto a object like these. I'll go ahead and try to make a prediction on the dice and test my clairvoyance tonight. First roll, I'm going to say, getting a 4. Let's see what it is. It's 5. 5. So it's 12:22, 12:23, 17 minutes now. And I think I'm going to let this run for about either 30 minutes or an hour and see if we can get anything going here. Parabox is quiet. Don't say no. No. Let me see. I've already tested the app out some and tried moving around.
Yes.
Usually that doesn't matter that much. I was shaking it and but if you do ask a question, sometimes it will
No.
answer, the question, but I just don't know what to ask it right now. So just set it right there.
Yes.
See, that time I moved it around some, and then it just started saying stuff, but just trying to. Okay. Is there something present here that is attached to these objects?
Yes.
Oops. All right. Can you tell us a name, please? State. Parabox, can you give me a name on possible whatever is attached to these? Or which one? Name, please. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some coffee. Okay, so the idea here is antiquities, certain antiquities could have attachments or spiritual attachments onto them. And the idea is the longer or the older the antiquity, the more hands it has passed and the more chance it has of gaining these attachments. And I think it happens through atomic structure and the scientific method, and then on the spiritual side, it would be pretty much unknown right now. But so what we're trying to do is trying to get communication between possible attachment, spiritual attachments on these dolls. And I'm thinking maybe this one because that one keeps stepping forward. And trying to find a name. So I'm gonna try to roll the dice and see if I can guess the roll. 6. What is it? 1, I think. Okay. Have another smoke. Take a break a minute. There we go. I am Emana, and my channel is about hypnosis, clairvoyance, and magic. And tonight I was bored, and it's early for me, and I want to do some paranormal investigation and have fun tonight. So I hope you enjoy the stream, and I'm gonna just flip it back, and you can keep an eye on the ask it questions or um, ask it whatever you want, and don't take it too seriously. I mean, you don't want to make fun or anything, and keep the comments nice, but ask paradox questions or whatever, and I will try to do the same and see if we can get communication between paradox and possible attachments here on these. And we're trying to get a name, please, paradox. We'll try to guess one more. Rolling the dice. 4. Yeah, it's 4. Got it. Prediction. All right. Back in the rhythm. And come on. There. You can see that?
Yes.
All right. Maybe I should put it over here, closer to those two. Okay, what's your name? Whichever one of you two in the thing. I'm trying to get your name. Okay, will it help if I light another candle? get some more. So you can say something. Go ahead and light a candle. Trying to get some communication here. There we go. Okay, since you don't want to tell us names, can you tell us um, where you're from? Just wanted to remind my viewers too that I did do a video earlier today. I just received this shipment of these antiques this morning or this afternoon, and I did an earlier video with a little description. There's one more, and I don't have it in the with the other group, so man, now it says something, and it says no. No, I don't. And should I bring the other doll over here with the group, maybe? Can you tell us its name, or if it has an attachment, Parabox? So the idea here is, anyway, and to further explain what the Parabox app does and how it works, is I think it is able to pick up on certain signals and waves and transmit certain words that he uses in a dictionary in the app. And I believe that if there are entities attached to these objects, they are able to communicate through those wavelengths and possibly put it out there into the app and transmit it back. And it was asking me to bring the other one and put it. This is a Dutch boy. This is the Dutch boy doll that came with the group. And it was asking me to maybe put this with the group and see if get any more communication out of it. You know, just set him right there. Dutch boy. Okay. So, the idea here is I mean, is this risky? I mean, is this crossing the line in paranormal investigations? No, it's not. And the reason being is because I believe that if there was attachments on certain objects like this, they'd be there anyway, whether I was, using the app or not. So I want to ask again. Is there anything here that wants to speak through the app here, Parabox app? If so, we got Dutch Boy out there now, and give us names or any type of information. And I found out the value on these antiques is altogether the collection is probably like $1,000 for all these antiques right here. So I mean, it was a pretty good deal. I got $15 on an auction house, and I didn't even expect to win. And they could have possible attachments, but we'll see.
Yes.
Probably gonna let this stream go for 30 more minutes because we ain't getting no. I mean, it said 2 words. Parabox app said 2 words, and that was it. But we do have, evidence that there could be something trying to communicate, just being real quiet. Oh. Stretch. Said stretch. Now that's a keyword. And it could be significant for me, just from the Paradox app. It doesn't mean that there has one of these items may have communicated it. I have that goal for me myself personally to stretch more often, so it could, if it means anything, possibly mean just that. So, but I'm gonna continue and go ahead and have a smoke and take a break. And if you want to ask questions, just have fun. Like I said, I mean, is this going overboard with paranormal investigation? Is this crossing the line in any way? No, it's not. The reason being is because it wouldn't matter if I was using the app or if I was investigating, except for the uh, observer effect, and that would be the only negative possibility. And possible, from the observer effect, getting the attachment onto myself. So that would be about it.
Child.
What did it say? Child? Hmm. I think that they're talking about Dutch boy here. Right there. Can you give me the child's name, Parabox?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm doing here tonight is I'm doing a paranormal investigation into possible attachments on Auction House Wins that I won this month, and had them shipped to my house and had some strange occurrences with them, and wanted to open my Paradox app and try to get communication with some of these objects, which I've done in the past, and experiment with it as well. And so far, I it's hard to tell. I mean, I already know that the Parabox app sometimes puts out random stuff that has no significance whatsoever and no synchronicity or anything like that. But this time, and occasionally, it does. And it's hard to discern when it does and when it don't. But that's what we're trying to do tonight, and have fun doing something. So, can you give us Dutch Boy's name here, please? Dutch Boy. Do I have too much light in here, or is that fine? Is the light fine? It's 11:16 p.m. here. Hmm. Let me see what happens if I put a bobby pin in here. Get the bobby pin. Does that help out a little bit there, Parabox? Trying to get communication from you. Which object would it be? These ones or these ones?
Yes.
Okay, let me try removing a couple take Dutch boy away, and now I'll leave it there. Okay. So, can you tell us anything else about what your names are here? So far, it said what? List plural stretch child. So I thought it meant Dutch boy when it said child, so we brought Dutch boy over here. You like the candle? Or I'm gonna get rid of the candle. That don't seem to be helping any. Down there. Still see the words on it. Move this over here because it's not very active now. It started out pretty active. It was saying a lot of yeses and nos, and then it just stopped and hasn't said nothing for about one or two things for 15 minutes. I'm experimenting is what I'm doing. I was bored tonight, and I hadn't put out another new stream for a while, and I thought I'd mix this together with some predictions on testing clairvoyance. I'm going to try one more roll. 2. Oh, it is 2. Got 2. So that's 50% tonight. Not bad. These two are, I just like them. I know they're made in Japan. I think they're made in Japan. You take a look at them up close. These are early 20th century, probably made in the 1910s, 1920s, made in Japan. And let's see if I can get the flashlight going on this. Let's touch. I don't think I can do it while I'm streaming. Let's see here. No, can't do it. Alright, so my other flashlight. Yeah, I would turn on the normal light, but I don't want to. So this guy, look at his face. It's almost vampiric, And I didn't know Japanese was in the vampire type thing, and there's supposedly, it looks like a little vampire, in a tuxedo. It's a wedding. These are dolls made in Japan. That one does too. It's got like a green tone to their faces. And I didn't know Japan was into vampires, but it's just kind of weird. Those two right there, kind of spooky. Because I know they're, from what I learned from my app, is that Claude, is that those two there are wedding dolls made in Japan. And then that one, the Dutch boy, reminds me of the one from the game Fallout game. And then, but it's early 20th century, like 1920s. And then the baby doll, which is probably the most valuable one of them all right there, is, that's probably anywhere between 1890 and 1910. And it's like glass on its face. And the porcelain is so fine on it. But it's a German maker. But I was just bored tonight and thought I'd go live and see if I can getting communication out of possible attachments on these objects. I think I'm going to do it for 20 more minutes and then quit. And I did some research on like each one of these, and I narrowed the baby doll to a maker, a German maker. And I mentioned the name earlier in the stream, but I can't remember it now. And then the Dutch boy has the game Fallout has a similar representation of the same thing, but it started way back in the early 20th century that they started making these popular ones with the yellow boots.
Yes.
There we go. We got a yes out of it. So I guess Dutch boy is the one that might have the attachment we're trying to find here tonight. And it is Fallout Shelter has the game, and it's got a similar, character in the Fallout game. And these dolls, from my research, were made starting in the 1920s, 30s, specifically in Germany and other European countries, and they were mass produced. But the Fallout boy in the game Fallout
Bro.
throw. Oops, I don't want to break it. All right. Yeah, it's just, it's. I think that the Fallout boy in the game Fallout is a representation of these old dolls that came from Germany, Dutch, and Europe back in the 1930s, 40s. That's where it began. It has all the yellow and everything, and blonde hair and blue eyes and all that, but it's got the coveralls and stuff like that. It's just like very strikingly familiar to the Fallout boy, the game Fallout. Sure. Let's see now. Nose. Yeah, I think it is communicating here. I think we're getting some significant words that could hold significance. I mean, see if there's anything significant about the nose on this Dutch boy.
No.
No. All right. I mean, he's got real feminine features on this doll here, but it's a Dutch boy, all right. And coveralls, thirst. I'm going to just put it down because every time I pick it up, it just starts going wild here.
Yes.
Leave Dutch boy alone for now. Produce. 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 Yeah, it was mass produced. It was the Dutch boy, I don't know what they were made for, really. I mean, I guess they were dollhouse dolls, maybe. So, can you tell us, does Dutch boy have connections to Europe? Was there a death or something in Europe with the Dutch boy? Can you tell us that? Give us a name or something? Trying to find out how many hands it may have passed. I don't know. We gotta, if you want to tell us what's going on, you gotta hurry up because I ain't got much time. I got 15 minutes and then I'm gonna stop the stream here. So, Dutch boy, you wanna tell us what happened? Just go ahead. Oh, maybe I should just pick him up again. I want to try. What the heck? No, I don't think I don't think I will. Now that's got me a little bit question my idea of maybe picking him up there. That's funny. Matter. All right, all right. I'm gonna just flip the screen here. I know it's going wild, and have a cigarette real quick because that was not expected. I wasn't quite expecting that right there. So I'm gonna take a quick smoke break and see if it says anything else after that. I mean, last time I was over here and I was doing a stream and I was getting communication from one of my objects, and then something was inside the object. And I was surprised, to say the least. So, but I'll go ahead and flip it back and see if it says anything again. So I think I might have some communication going on between me and Dutch Boy here. So Paradox can ask Dutch Boy where he's, if, what happened in Europe there when he was, you know, were you on a farm? Was he on a farm, Dutch Boy? There in Germany or something? Because it said, let's see. Yeah. Tell us more.
No.
Okay, so when I suspected that Dutch Boy started maybe possibly communicating through Paravox, and it said produce, and then it said try when I tried to pick it, you know, asked it if I should pick it up, and then matter. And I was discussing how possible attachments could be using the matter within the atomic structure of the object to get the attachment. It said no. It's more of a spiritual attachment, but let's see. I'll go ahead and try to pick up Dutch Boy now. See if anything happens. Okay. We're trying to get some better communication with this object here, Paradox. This is a 1920s Dutch Boy dollhouse doll that was possible made in Germany, probably, and probably the same maker as the baby doll, which I can't remember the name of, and it has past hands, I'm sure of it, and it's well made, and it's real clean and pristine condition. So what's the history here, Paradox, of Dutch Boy? Can you tell us? Tell us something like, give us a name. Because I only have like 10 minutes. We'll just wait. Do any of these other objects have possible attachments here, maybe? Paradox. Like those two there? Or that one? The baby doll?
Yes.
Whoops. Okay. Can you give us any more information on them? Maybe? Like names or origins? Okay, well, should we just continue the investigation another time, maybe? Because I know that you're patient, right? Give us another clue, something? I'm gonna go ahead and try another prediction on the dice roll. I'm 50% tonight. Try to do it in front of the camera so no cheating. I'm getting a 1. It's a 1.
Yes.
Yay. So that's 60% tonight. When I use clairvoyance and try to use ESP to try to guess rolling the dice or cards that I don't have. Cards. I have my
Yes.
tarot deck right here, but I'm not using it. And I have my dice and a regular deck of cards, which I'm not using tonight. And I was gifted at birth with the ability to have clairvoyance, and I'm trying to work on it and try to make it better. So make it more clear and have a better ability at it. But the idea that objects can have attachments has been passed on from ages and ages, and it's you get small objects, and then you got the big objects that could be having attachments like haunted houses or even cities or countries or who knows, so attachments can be part of many different things. They could be benevolent, they can be malevolent, or anywhere in between. So we got about 7 more minutes to get in kind of communication with Dutch Boy tonight and find out what happens. Trying to find an origin of where he might have passed hands through to possibly get an attachment. I suspect maybe a death, unnatural death maybe that occurred in Dutch Boy's vicinity or something. Is that possible? All these objects were made pre-World War One, so most of them were probably made in Germany. I don't know if they all came from the same family. I don't. Considering that the 2 in the case were Japanese made and the other 2 were German made, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But they're all in pristine condition and original clothing and all that, so whoever owned it, or I'm thinking it probably did come from the same family. Can you give us a name, maybe? I have one more cigarette and I'm going to have to close out the stream. I hope you learned something tonight, guys. Hello, Holland. And maybe the Dutch boy. Yeah, he probably, I don't know. I can't say for certain if he came over after World War II or before World War II. That's what we're trying to get at. Where he could have passed hands through. What countries, because if he was over in, Europe during, no, he says no, not in Europe. Well, I have to take that with a grain of salt right now. Because I don't know that for sure. I have to get doubly verification on that it didn't pass through Europe during World War II. So, but Yeah, I mean, if it was present, any of these dolls present during in Europe during that period, God only knows what kind of attachments it could have, right? That's what I've been thinking anyway. But I think it's the Hertzwig company made those two dolls right here, the Dutch boy and the baby doll, and they were popular between I think 1860 and 1930 or 40, and they made like millions of them, and or hundreds of thousands of them. And there was in Germany like six, seven, a bunch of different major companies that were mass producing these dolls, and I guess it was a big thing for Germany to do that, and they were actually making a lot of profit and sales off them. So there's a lot of history to doll making in Germany. And then these, of course, were probably made in Japan, but they don't look like Japanese people when you look at them. I mean, the features on them are strange, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the stream, and I'm gonna do a follow up on probably all four of them, and see if I could get some more, communication. I'm still in experimental mode. I don't really, you know, flat out believe all this attachment stuff, but I think it is possible, and I have a experience with this Parabox app that it is able to have uh, what you call synchronicities with what I say and what I'm thinking and the objects in the environment, and it does use uh, validated and verifiable, ways of communicating. That's three methods that I know: with the camera, with the voice, with the EMF field, and sound. So that's just going nuts, saying yes, 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 agreeing. So, but yeah, it's still an experimental phase, and I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream and give it one more minute. And hands or a friend? Oh yeah, that's right. Dang, I'm glad you said that. I remember that from somewhere. Where do I look? I'll have to look up some more information on that because that does ring a bell. Person, hands or friends? I do remember a hands or a friends. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yes, that does ring a bell. I have to look that up later tonight. Well, okay, been an hour, and I'm gonna go ahead and close out this experimental paranormal investigation. I am Emana, the clairvoyant. See you next time. Bye.